Hello, I'm Aluka, and today I'm going to make a realistic Enderman. First, I have to give credit to the person that actually designed what I'm making today. Here's their Reddit post. What you're seeing here is about my fourth attempt at making the head of the Enderman. I can make a sword, I can make a gun, I can make a knife, but I can't make a head, and that just doesn't make any sense. So just like anyone else would, I completely gave up and moved on to the body. To start off the body, I began sculpting the torso. Does making something with a 3D pen even count as sculpting? I use that word because it sounds fancy, like I'm actually doing something, which I'm not. Once I had the frame done, I began to fill it in. Then I used my soldering iron to smooth it all out. Once that was done, I added 2 holes to the torso to add the legs. I didn't burn myself once while I was making this, and that's a new personal record. The first leg I made was way too big. I ended up stacking way too much filament. The second time around, I stacked it a little bit less, and it turned out perfectly fine. Once both legs were done, they were added to the body, and I poked 2 more holes in the upper torso for the arms. The arms were made the exact same way as the legs, then added on. Then I realized the pose was completely wrong, and to fix this, I ended up bending the top to the left. Once I got that done, I smoothed it and sanded it, and this is how it turned out. Then I used a pencil to add some details, then carved it out. I ended up giving him more abs than the reference photo showed, but I don't think it was that big of a deal. Next thing up was the hands. Next time I make something like this, I'll make sure to use wire because I didn't use any this time, and what happened was, since everything was so small and skinny, a lot of the stuff broke off after I was done making it. Each of the legs at least snapped twice, the head came off, a finger came off, and one of the hands came off as well. That aside, making the hands were really easy. I just added some filament, melted it down, and bent it. Then, after that, it was finally time to start the head. I had no idea how to make this. This is one of those things where you don't know how to do it, you just have to start, because if you don't start, you will literally never do it. First, I made the head too big, then I made the jaw too big, and once I got those pretty similar in size, I connected them together. Once the head was on, I added some veins to the neck. The head isn't perfect, but I like the way it turned out, especially since it was my first time making something like this. It does look really smooth here, but to make it look even better, I gave it a few coats of primer filler. And since he's completely done, we're going to put him to the side and work on the base. I made this base off camera with the 3D pen, and I'm going to hopefully turn it into a grass block. And since I'm going for realism, I use real dirt. I mix dirt, glue, water, and brown paint. Then I spread it all over the block, the sides and the top. And since I don't plan anything out, I had no plan on how he was going to stand up on the base, so I ended up having to add some dirt. One of the main reasons why I added him to the base before I painted him was because I didn't have to worry about smudging the paint. And since he's black and gray, I really didn't need to add a secondary primer on top of the primer filler. Then I went over his body in a light gray highlight. Then his eyes got painted white. Don't worry, I removed all that excess white and purple paint for the final product. Then to make the twine, I cut some twine, cut it again, and then cut it one last time. Then to paint it, I used green paint, brown paint, and water. Then I sprinkled some grass on top of it, and sometimes I lightly pressed it down. I had no plan or any idea on how to make the block realistic. I'm really happy that I figured it out because this looks really nice. Once the top was done, in true Minecraft fashion, I had to add some dirt to the side. And this is what it looked like when it was completely done. It's not completely perfect and accurate to the drawing, but this is my first time making a figure and I'm really proud of myself. After around 2 weeks of work, the realistic Enderman is done. Thanks for watching.